Hello, hello. Is anybody out there? Hey, co-reporters, welcome back to my channel. It's time for our weekly Vanderpump Rules recap. And I hope you guys are like proud or impressed that I actually full blown scheduled this out like a week in advance this time. Faith, thank you so much for joining the channel membership. So nice to have you. Hi, Amber. Nice to have you here as well. Maritza, nice to see you too. Guys, what did you think of last night's episode of the show? Let me know. As always, we've got it rated on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll be honest with you. I can't rate it super high. Yeah, we finally got the Tom Schwartz and Raquel on-screen kiss, but that felt like a complete and utter joke. I can't even lie. And then the episode in general, it kind of was a little bit anticlimactic in my opinion. And then, can we not with this dinner between Schwartz and Katie as well? I'm gonna have to go ahead and rate it a 6.5. 7 at best. It just was not doing it for me as an episode. Sloopy's back. Hello, hello. Jeanette is here. Oh, you're all here, Erica. Nice. Irene is here. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. Welcome. Come in, everybody. Hi. Jasmine's back as well. Jazz in the house. You thought it was good, Sloopy? I don't know. For me, this was probably like one of the last rankings I would give an episode. Okay, Maritza, well, we're going to give you the groundwork on it here. Listen, there is a lot to get into. Okay. So far we've only got one rating, and that's from Jazz. She gives it a 6.5. So she's with me. What is everybody else rating it? You enjoyed watching Shorts. Okay. Was it the flirting with the girl there? I think she's Israeli because she said her name was Bar, and that reminds me of the Israeli model, Bar Rafaeli, I want to say. So I'm just assuming she's Israeli. Erica says last night's episode felt like a throwback to past party episodes, but the dinner was the best part. Oh, and can we get into that dinner? How pathetic. I'm sorry, but straight up, did Katie and Christina Kelly look booking a table by the party to just sit there and stare at them? Like, it was perfect for TV, but in real life, oh my God, like if I knew people who actually did that, I'd be like, oh my God, like what's wrong with them? But it was TV gold. I will give you that, Erica. Stephanie, we were missing you last week. Hey, Grace, missed last week because of a meeting. I had to block the slot. You were the absolute best. You know, it's funny. I actually said that in the video last week. I'm like, okay, we've got everybody here, but where's Stephanie? We're missing her. So glad you're here. Thanks so much for booking the time. That's awesome. So Steph would rate the episode an 8. Lala was tolerable. Yeah, I would say that. She definitely was more tolerable than like usually. Usually she's like down here for me, but okay. Tom's sticking up for himself, Sleepy. All right, we'll get into that. And Paris, I didn't watch the full episode yet. I've been waiting for the podcast to drop. I usually listen to the Watch What Happens Live podcast in the mornings when I'm like getting ready for my day, but it hasn't dropped yet. But I watched the clips on TikTok and stuff. So he spilled the tea. Tom Schwartz, let me pull up a photo of him for this. Tom Schwartz, he says that he found out that Raquel and Sandoval had a one-night stand back in August. Of course, I had to pull up this photo too. And then that Sandoval came up to him in January saying that he is full-blown in love with Raquel. So that's the timeline that he's giving. So now when you go from August to April, what is that? August to September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, April, 8 months that he's known about. But that doesn't mean that the one night stand happened necessarily in August. It could have happened in July and then they waited to come clean or something. But I do believe that Tom would have come to him directly after it happened. So I'm going to go for the 8-month timeline at this point. It is crazy how much he spilled. Good for you, Tom, on sharing it all. But again, like I said, when this news initially broke, and by the way, I do have a question for you guys. How did we find out that Tom cheated with Raquel? Oh, now I'm remembering. It was the CD, not the CD player. It was the band. And then he dropped the phone, Ariana. But how did that news get to us? Does anyone remember? Was that Demois or something like that? Or like something else? Because that was wild. I'm trying to like piece back together this history. So, you know, last night, the episode kind of kicks off with Tom Schwartz and his ex-wife, Katie, having their like, you know, dinner together to celebrate them selling their marital home and kind of moving forward in separate directions. And again, like I always say, Katie, I don't understand why you want to be friends with this man so bad. I don't even understand why you were ever attracted to him. When he showed up to that restaurant in the like shiny suit, with like the slides, the Adidas slides, I was like, could not be my man. Absolutely not. And the fact that he sat up there and claimed he was a great husband to Katie, the complete and utter audacity, okay? Because what the hell was that, like on what planet? And that's the thing. Speaking of, I think it was Paris who asked me this. Yeah, speaking of Watch What Happens Live, on Watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen asks him point blank, Tom, tell us the ways in which you were a great husband to Katie, because the audience is lost. They don't see it. And so Tom, he kind of babbles around the question without answering it because there is no answer, right? Because it's not true. It is simply untrue that he was a great husband to her, right? Like he constantly threw her under the bus and whatnot. Like he cheated a couple of times. Like it just was not there, the good husband situation. So I don't know. Oh, Steph, I'm so glad. I felt how everyone was trying to control his relationship with Katie and how he navigates that. Yeah, it is true. And you know what? They're trying to control his relationship with Raquel as well. Remember how they were like, make out, make out? I'm like, dude, these guys are 40. I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 in October. But like, I can't remember like my friends outside of like high school era, like me or my friends cheering for someone to make out with someone, like make out, like the whole, and the way they run around talk about, oh, I love to make out, like all the time. To me, it's very childish and stuff. Like, I don't know. So Maritza and Jasmine are saying it's from TMZ that we found out. All right. Oh my God. It's just crazy to me. Wow. Parents is on the same page. So that's what happens. But I want to go back to the top again with this dinner with Katie. Katie, why do you want to be this man's friend? Because you know what's like the most ironic thing here? It's that Katie says in a confessional that she learns through therapy as she's working through her divorce with this man child that, yeah, sure, he might have loved me at a certain point, but the reason why he was never like sticking up for me or anything like that is because he didn't actually like me. And I'm like, okay, so here you are acknowledging that this man doesn't like you. So why are you trying to be friends with him? Isn't that like a friend supposed to like you? Like, I don't understand. Like she needs to let go at this point because it's too much. You know what I mean? Like what is she getting out of being there with him? And so she does call him out again for constantly taking everybody's side. He even took Brock's side over her. And so he's like, okay, maybe it's better if we just don't talk. And I was like, girl, stop. Like this would have been the last time I ever spoke to this man. And for him to call her a provocateur in her like drama with like Raquel and Sheena, another like last straw for me. Because you know what? Katie is only fighting with Raquel and Sheena because Sheena and Raquel have been scheming on a way for Raquel to make out with Tom Schwartz, and it's too soon after their divorce, and she's hurt by it. And she thought that like them as friends, they would back off with her saying how much it hurts. So like, what are you talking about? She's the provocateur, Tom. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Now, I do have to ask you guys a question. Do you know how James's girlfriend, Allie, she kind of stormed off at the end of last week's episode? And I can't agree with that as well, Sloopy. Like there were moments where you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like she has body shamed him on camera and everything. They were just horrible together, to be honest with you. And yeah, Mavis, absolute goofball is the best way to kind of put it. Now, Allie, she stormed away at the end of last week's episode because James was kind of beefing with Ariana because James pushed off one of Brock's drunken friends and whatnot. And so Allie was kind of embarrassed by like kind of like the drama going on there. And I was wondering, I'm like, James, why did you never go back and get your girl? Like she comes back, she's probably sitting in the hotel room waiting for him to come, like, get her. And then she realized, oh crap, I've been here like 40 minutes. Let me go back because he still has not come for me. And then you see Brock and stuff. I was like, did Brock go for her? And they cut that scene out. Like I was quite curious about that. I don't know if that struck anyone as well. You're talking about this is the love of your life, the most important person in your world. Meanwhile, you don't care where she is. She is in her room alone and you're not caring. You're not doing nothing like that. Like, I do not understand, sir. That really rubbed me the wrong way, but I digress. But anyway, James in true provocateur fashion, he stirs up some drama between Lala and Sheena. So Sheena starts asking everybody, like, hey, like we're doing that thing tomorrow. Like, Ali, I want to invite you too. I know you weren't initially invited to my wedding or anything like that, but I do want to invite you to spend the day with us. And so at this point, James blurts out that Lala told him that she didn't want to go. And of course, this pisses Sheena off. And if you guys were here for last week's recap, you know I felt the same way. Sheena keeps trying to Lala keeps trying to kind of make this about herself. Like, oh my God, Raquel's going to be there, so I don't want to be there. It's going to ruin the mood and stuff. It's like, stop it. You're so obsessed with this girl. At this point, just like understand that there's going to be a bunch of people there. It's not going to be just the two of you. And the most important thing here is celebrating your friend and her like wedding and marriage and all of that. So just suck it up and go. Like, I feel like Lala is the type of person, I don't know if you guys know people like that, but there are some people who need to feel like, at the like center of everybody's universe. And so you have to beg for them to like do something with you, you know? Like I felt like Lala wanted Sheena to beg for her. Like, I know it's your weekend, but I need you to beg for me. It'll pump up my ego. Like, really, Raquel, what do you think Raquel is going to do to you, Lala? Right? Like, and then she was talking about feeling unsafe and this and that. Like, I don't know if it's emotionally unsafe or whatever, but it just, I was rolling my eyes. And I like how at the end of it, Sheena's like, you know what, whatever, Lala, don't come. And of course, guess what happens? At that point, Lala decides to come because you know what? What's she gonna do? Sit around at home? I know Katie and Christina Kelly are there, but they're just gonna be lounging by the pool. They're missing out on the filming for this and all of the party being at sea and stuff like that. You know, she obviously wanted to come, but she wanted to be begged to come. I don't know. I really can't stand this girl, you guys. I can't. And so Sheena actually takes the opportunity to confront Lala as well about bringing Christina Kelly to that welcome dinner. And so in true Lala fashion, she decides to play dumb. She's like, well, I didn't know it was a welcome dinner. Lala, you knew everyone would be there. You know, everyone's there for Sheena's wedding. So why would you think that this was not a wedding related event? Like, on what planet does the first dinner in a destination for a destination wedding not amount to a wedding event? Like, I really can't stand that. That's the thing about Lala. She takes everyone to task. She holds everyone's feet to the fire, but she loves to play dumb. I can't. It's really irritating. I have to be honest with you. Like, she does this on purpose every single time. And she's doing it when it comes to her relationship with Rand. Did she know about all of those allegations about him? No, but she knew he was a bad person. And I 1000% believe that she knew he was married, but she wanted the benefits and now she gets to play dumb about it, right? So, come on now. Absolutely not. It's like Soupy says, bad friend. And I think she's being a bad friend to Ariana as well. She's been trying to make this all about her, the scandal. She's been profiting off of it with those send it to Daryl things, the billboards she's sending around Vegas and whatnot, and just a lot. Like, she's been really icky to me, in my humble opinion. Now, let's get into Raquel. Speaking of Raquel, the woman who makes Lala feel unsafe, oh my God, this scene was crazy. Guys, did your jaws collectively drop as well when she shows up to Katie's room? When she initially shows up, I was like, oh my God, like, so she's might be trying to like, make amends with them for how things went on that little girls trip to the Vegas area and whatnot. Let's see how like interesting this might be. Maybe she's going to try to like confront them for making fun of her for that galaxy light she was using. So many like different, like reasonable things popped into my mind. And then especially when she says, like, she pops up at the door and she's like, hey, like, can I come in? I'm like, okay, like, girl, let's see what this is about. And then it turns out that she wants to tell them a telephone message from the bride, Sheena, that they are not to be seen at the preferred areas. Like, she has revoked their privileges. And I'm like, well, you didn't have to come into their apartment or whatever, their hotel, to tell them that. Raquel is just so awkward to me in like a really funny way. She is one of those people that is so unintentionally funny because she's kind of like a Three Stooges. Is that what you call them? Or the Three Musketeer? I think it's the Three Stooges, like those people that are like a little like, kind of like up in the air and whatnot. Like, come on now. It's just so funny to me. And I love it. And thanks, Steph. You know what? That's 1000% right. That's what Lala does not like in Raquel. And you know what it is? Raquel is more convincing as like a dodo bird. Like Lala, you can tell that there are more lights up there than Raquel has going on, and she would love to be able to play dumb at a Raquel level, but she can't. And maybe that's where the jealousy is coming from there. So as she's delivering this message to Katie and Christina Kelly, the girls straight up laugh in her face. I was like, oh my God, how humiliating that they would go ahead and do that. And then at a certain point, Katie, and I do have to give her props for this, she's like, you know what? I might go anyway. I was like, That is so funny. And that's not the part I had to give her props for. The part I had to give her props for is when Raquel tries to get up on her high horse. She's like, oh, you're going to go even though someone told you not to? She's like, yeah, Raquel, I'm going to do something even though someone told me not to. And that was obviously in reference to Raquel continuously going after Tom Schwartz, her decoy, even though Katie told her not to and that it hurts. And I was like, you know what? Chef's kiss. And you just know that that flew over Raquel's head, absolutely hilarious. I can't even lie. So Raquel, she reports back to Sheena saying, hey, listen, I did actually end up going ahead and like telling them the news. But now Sheena's trying to say that she was joking. But they already rolled back the clip of Sheena telling everybody, hey, like, who wants to be the bridesmaid that's gonna like deliver this news to Katie? I don't think she was joking. Do y'all think she was joking? I don't think she was joking. No, I thought that she was serious, but she just didn't think that anyone would actually go ahead and do it, is more like it. But it was really funny. And you know what happens the next day? Everybody goes out. The boys are doing their bachelor party thing. James is not really like having it. He's like, oh my God, like he sees them as like meatheads. He's like, what are they doing? They've got like Brock's face on the Speedo and whatnot. And they're like flicking each other's willies and just throwing champagne around. And he's like, these are guys you party with and stuff, but they're not guys I would go out to dinner with, which I totally get. But I'm kind of surprised because again, like English boys have a huge reputation, and it's a pretty bad reputation in Europe of being extreme party guys, for these sorts of things, like the bachelors parties and whatnot. And just like in general, like, remember I told you last week, like the Amsterdam or something like that, the Netherlands, they want to start banning them. Spain is like saying, listen, you guys have to get it together. You got to stop dropping off these balconies. They keep trying to jump from one balcony to another, and then they'll fall to their deaths that way because they're so drunk, So I'm quite surprised that James is like too uppity for this, especially considering he used to be a belligerent drunk himself. And that's why he had to go sober. Just the other episode, he was balancing plates and stuff, fine china. So I did feel a little bit like, come up off your high horse, James. Like, I don't believe you on this. You're not like on a higher level than them or anything like that. Like, they're just having a good time here. And it's all vibes. It's all love at the end of the day. So at this point, everyone's having a good time, and Katie and Christina Kelly are just like, bathing in the sun at the preferred pool. They decided to go anyway. Katie's like, I gave them my name and the room number, and they didn't do anything, so why wouldn't I come here? And I was like, all right, girl. You know what I have to tell you guys? I am an extreme rule follower. Okay, so if someone told me I couldn't do something, I just wouldn't do it because I'd be too scared. You know what it is? I don't know if anyone's like this, but I'm so scared. Like, I would feel like this is the anxiety that I would have trying to get to the preferred pool. I would be so like, my worst case scenario is that the person there would have a megaphone and would be like, no, you're not allowed here. The person who's like, rented it out said you're not allowed here and you're a steak bitch, get out. And then they'd like have like slime, they'd throw it at me. I would like have this as my panic. So the fact that these girls had the balls to go there anyway, I have to like go, you know what? I have to hand it to you guys. I can't. I am a scaredy cat. I truly am. I'm too scared to do these sorts of things because I'm always thinking like the craziest thing is going to happen to me, the most humiliating thing. Jess says Katie is still wanting to go just to annoy Sheena was not cool, especially during someone's wedding events. I agree. I think it's that, and she wanted to cash in on the filming because it's a couple of days of filming for this, and like if she's not there, she's not getting any screen time. But yeah, it wasn't a great look for her. That's for sure. Speaking of not a great look, why don't we get into Tom Schwartz acting all shy? He's like, oh my God, like, I feel like I don't even remember how to flirt with girls. I still feel like Katie's my girl. Like, how can I talk to another girl? Stop it. You were cheating on this girl throughout your relationship and throughout your marriage. Stop acting like all of a sudden you don't know how to talk to other women, please. Or maybe it's true. He only knows how to talk to other women when he's in a committed relationship. Is that what it is? Either way, very irritating. Again, he is on the Raquel kind of wagon of playing dumb and whatnot. And I don't love it. I really can't stand that sort of behavior. I'm going to go back to Sloopy's comment because I didn't get to read it. Remember when Lala said she wanted to sleep with Schwartz when him and Katie were married because they weren't going to last anyway, but Katie's friends with Lala. You have such a good memory. Oh, and that was in the early days, right after they got married or something like that, and they were beefing and whatnot. I think Lala was body shaming Katie in this era. So yeah. Oh, child, the receipts come out, and that's what it goes to. Her beef with Raquel is that they're the same person at the end of the day. Now, what did you guys think? I saw a comment a little bit earlier about this, but I do want to bring it up because we're at that like portion. Lala has a conversation with James's girlfriend Allie, and it seems as though she is warning Allie against James, but it's weird because she is suddenly like more friendly with James and stuff like that. And I don't know where it's coming from. Why are you trying to break up like his relationship? I don't really understand where that's coming from. I felt like it was inappropriate as a friend. And then to be crying over his girlfriend, like, look where I wound up and stuff. Like, I don't know. I would feel some type of way if a friend of mine did that to me in my relationship, like just weird, and I would feel some type of way if I was the girlfriend and like someone who's supposed to be my man's friend was talking to me like that. I'd be like, are you sure this is your friend? Because, she is just out here, saying these things about you and whatnot. I would think about it though. I'd be like, okay. Like you do have to take warning signs, if people around this person are warning you, yeah, it might be onto something. So, don't just go with your ears closed. My man. But still, Candid by Tini says, I thought the US partied hard, but in England, I was laid out. Yeah, like they have a good old time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, where is this coming from, James? Jeez. I'm catching up on your comments, by the way, you guys. Those party scenes with the guys cracked me. Sandoval was on something allegedly. He was petting everyone. Was, there usually are. There was this one time when they were all so very obviously on Molly. Even Ariana, I remember, was rolling. And it was the one where like Lala wanted everyone to touch her. She's like, everybody hold me down. I'm like, girl, you're on Molly. Did James get sober of himself? Yeah, he had to get to sober for Raquel, and because she broke up with him, he's no longer sober. He's like, if I'm gonna do it again, it's gonna be for myself and not like, for somebody else, or whatever. Mavis, I don't like to be told what to do, but I don't like to be anywhere where I'm not wanted. That's the thing for me too. I don't want to be anywhere I'm not wanted. If you tell me you don't want me there, I'm not going to go there. I don't want to go and look desperate, please. And she did look desperate, but it was great for TV. I loved it for TV. Jeez. That's the thing with James. He's always dragging everyone's appearance. And like I said, like I know a lot of people consider him attractive and whatnot, but nobody really, like only very few people in this world are 10 out of 10. So it's just, don't say that. And even if you are 10 out of 10, just what's the point? I don't get why he's constantly going in on people, especially like their weight and stuff. Katie needing screen time is right. She's struggling for it, but it could be karma. Yep. And she's been a mean girl for a long time. Even this episode, we're going to get into it, but she's a mean girl to Christina Kelly at a certain point. And let's get into that tea as well. So Sandoval, like I said a little bit earlier, he tries to set Tom Schwartz up with who I'm assuming is an Israeli woman. And, she doesn't really speak English very well, right? So typically when you're speaking to someone who's not a native in your language, you use simpler terms, smaller words. But Tom Schwartz, he kept like talking like in very like advanced English. And I'm like, dude, she doesn't understand. What are you doing? Right? Like, come on. Oh, TR1, you're back. Hey, TR. Her story's back as well. Yes. Okay, I think they get Foxy's here too. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Foxy in the building. Hi, boo. Insecure people go for other people's looks sometimes. Yes. And I do believe that James is very insecure, especially when it comes to Raquel, who's constantly stressing out about where she is and stuff. He's always looking around. And if she's around, he's going to kiss his girl and make a big show of it because, he can't. And the reason why Allie is even here is because he strong-armed Sheena and Brock into inviting her because Raquel was going to be there and he couldn't be alone. She is his security blanket, right? So when Allie comes back to the hotel, she tells James about her chat with Lala, and he starts dragging Lala for trying to warn Allie, like, Lala's some kind of a life coach or something when her own life is a total mess. And she's like, and he's like, besides, Lala barely even knows me anymore because when she was with Randall and they were together for years, right? Like 5 years or something like that, we weren't speaking like that. Like she had to cut me off. So she knows an old version of me. And I thought that was very like apt, right? Like, yeah, she does know an old version of him. And obviously people change over the years, especially in a span of 5 years. So where does she get off giving this kind of like warning and whatnot? And again, Lala, like the decisions she makes in her life, including now, right? She's sober and everything, but still like the way she's walking around and doing certain things, it's still not the greatest decision. So I don't know where she gets off with that. And then he assures Allie that she is the absolute love of his life and everything like that. But I digress. We'll see how that actually ends up playing out. Again, I think that he just needs somebody to be there to help him with his breakup from Lala. I don't think that Allie is even like in love with him either. I think she tolerates him and she wants a spot on the show. But this is all karmic for James because James used Kristen and he bragged about using Kristen to get on the show. Raquel used James and now Allie's using James. It's the circle of life, y'all. Okay, so let's get back to the party, right? So they're all having this party for Scheana's bachelorette. Everybody's at these tables and whatnot. They look wonderful and beautiful. And then on the corner, you've got Katie and Christina Kelly just kind of like sitting there and whatnot. And I'm like, guys, like, this is kind of hilarious. And then they have a table that's a direct view of the floor and stuff, which is really funny to me. So let's get into Katie. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but Katie being a mean girl. Christina Kelly was really mean. She was an asshole to Scheana because her boss at the time, Stassi, was, right? Like they made fun of Scheana's crop top wedding dress on camera and whatnot. It was very mean, really, really horrible stuff. And so Christina Kelly at her dinner with Katie and Lala lets it be known that she apologized to Scheana for being up bitch to her for no reason. She acknowledges that she was doing this for no reason. Scheana had never done anything wrong to her or whatever. And you know who's upset by that? Katie Maloney. She's like, now why would you do that? Like, okay, I don't even see that why you felt the need to apologize to being mean to someone for no reason. I'm like, this is why I can never root for this woman. She truly is, in her heart of hearts, miserable and bitter and just plain mean. I think she's scared that Christina Kelly is going to start like being on the good books with Scheana, and then that's going to leave her in her own little corner because Lala's already good with her. And then what else does Katie have, right? Like everybody likes Scheana but her at this point. I get that she's hurt by Scheana's actions, but let other people have relationships with other people and apologize when they're wrong. I thought it was incredible that Christina Kelly even did that. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, like, good for you. That takes a lot at the end of the day. And I thought that was awesome. I really did. So kudos to you, Christina Kelly, for that. I felt like. Let me catch up to some of your comments. By the way, yes, like Foxy says, if you're enjoying this, please do make sure to like the stream. Doesn't matter what Lala warns Allie. She'll stay for the fame just like Rachel. Abso-freaking-lutely. James was totally correct about Lala. Yep. Lala wants to insert herself into everything. Like, girl, you're no one's spiritual guru. Yes. Remember last week's episode? She was trying to lecture James on parenthood. It's so serious. It's this is that. Girl, stop. Like, you are not the gatekeeper of parenthood. Like, if he's gonna have a kid with someone, he's gonna have a kid with someone, and he doesn't need your permission to do that. Stop it. Like, she just really likes to talk down on people, and it's kind of like odd to me, but it's her personality, right? So just before Schwartz and Raquel make out, everybody at the table and stuff is telling him, listen, you need to let go of this Katie stuff. Stop calling her Baba. He's like, yeah, but I still feel like she's my girl. They're like, stop it. You need to make out with someone else. So this is Scheana telling him that, Brock telling him that, Sandoval, everybody really trying to like steer him towards that direction, towards Raquel. Raquel comes running over because, this season she's really all about making out with people. So she wants to see if that's going to be happening. And, this is the short stuff that I talk about, right? So at this point, he wants some of Katie's attention, kind of like a child. So he shimmies on over to Katie's little, Mean Girls dinner. And he's like looking over, he's like hiding behind a post and stuff. And so he comes over and he asks Katie to trim his armpit hair. And I'm like, you can't do that yourself? Like, you can't? Like, so odd, right? And so she's like, no, do it yourself. Or get like one of the other guys, get Brock or someone to do it. I'm like, what? Why do men like being treated like children, and why do women like acting like their moms? Like, to me, this type of stuff is so gross and weird. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? This grown ass 40-year-old man cannot shave his own armpits. On what planet? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that is insane to me. What? Insane, dude. That really was odd. And then the other girls were really stunned as well. They're like, what the hell? Like, you've been shaving his armpits? Is this your child? Like, how can you be attracted to a man who treats you this way, who puts you in mommy position? Just yuck. And you know what the irony was that Tom Schwartz wanted Katie to shave his armpits just so he can go over and like hook up with other girls with his freshly shaved armpits. Are you kidding me? And then he goes right over and makes out with Raquel there. And I'm like, you were so trifling and two-faced. You were just all up in her face talking about shave my armpits, shave my armpits. She says, no, what do? You go and kiss this girl that she's been begging you not to kiss and not to flirt with and stuff. Like, what? What? Insane. Absolutely insane. Like, this guy, I really hope that now watching all this stuff back and seeing how Schwartz was aware of all of this at the time and like still playing into things that hurt Katie, I hope that at this point she's finally ready to cut ties with him permanently. He's not your friend, Katie. The man hates you, and he's always hated you. He's hated you ever since he dumped the booze, the beer over your head. I don't know how you never saw it, okay? It's just wild to me. Katie was going to go be on an island, but thanks to Tom and Rachel, people view Katie and Lala as the verbal assassins, and most likely they will root for them to knock out Rachel. Exactly. If the scandal didn't happen, Katie and Lala would have come across so horribly this season. And the gag is they still do. Remember when they were like bullying with Christina Kelly, Raquel for the Galaxy light? Like, they came across horribly. Like, people really dragged them online still. They're like, you didn't know this was happening at the time, so don't even try to use that as an excuse. And I agree with you, Abby. All this making out, and they were still like, height of COVID era. Like, come on now. I understand what he was trying to do, but he didn't execute it well. He was like, why was he staring at her? I felt bad as he walked away, though. And Lala mentioned how they felt bad. Well, that's part of his thing, right? He likes to like be like seen as this like poor, helpless little boy. And it's like, I'm sorry, sir, but you're in your 40s. Grow up at a certain point. Foxy says, I haven't even gone on a date under the COVID time. You know what? You are not missing nothing. I will tell you that much. You are not missing nothing. COVID dating was wild. I remember I was so whack in COVID because here in France, the laws were so strict. You could not go like further than like a kilometer of your apartment. You couldn't be out more than 1 hour a day. I went crazy. So back in 2020, my dating choices were wild because I was so isolated, and I felt like a lot of people fell into that. So Foxy, kudos to you for avoiding that. I wanted Raquel and Schwartz to be the ones in a relationship, but now the dream is over. Can you imagine Raquel and Schwartz in a relationship? I feel like they both need people to guide them in life. Like, I feel like they're both so like just so airheaded that they need like more grounded people. So I can't picture them in a relationship. I feel like it would be dangerous for the two of them to be in a relationship together. They need guidance. I feel bad for Katie because I think, and that's the problem. She loves him, and it's like, why do you love him? Why do you love someone who treats you so terribly? And he's shown you time and time again that he literally hates your guts. I think that that's what she needs to unpack in therapy. My Cash App. I had to disable my super chats for a minute, but I don't have Cash App because I live in France. But thank you so much, Steph. You're always so supportive. It'll be back soon. It'll be back next month, I believe. Yeah. But thank you so much. I did not miss much. Yeah, you did not miss out. Honestly, I regret my COVID relationship. I moved in and everything, and I was like, oh, Grace, why did you do this? Like, you should have just waited it out. Me and my boyfriend started dating during lockdown. We had our first movie date at the theater. How did you do that during lockdown? At the theater? What was it, like an outdoor theater or something like that? I don't think they're as dumb as they pretend to be, and that's the thing. They have a side that is calculating, but I think overall they're dim. For example, Schwartz, he has a really good vocabulary, but outside of that, like, here's the thing, they want to play that way. They want to be full-time, that way and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's all very odd. Now, I did want to ask you guys what you felt about this makeout situation. To me, it just felt like very obvious. And I don't know if it's because we're biased because we know about the scandal and whatnot, but it just didn't feel real. Like, the kiss looked kind of like messy and like, oh God, I'm kissing my sibling or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Like, it's very, very odd. I felt like, at this point, Schwartz knew, and he felt like weird, and Raquel felt weird. But they had to do it, right? Because they had to go on with their kind of charade that they're playing. So I don't know. Paris says, I feel like they're comparable because they're both, just like you said, airheads, and they have similar personalities. You never had a date in COVID time. I never had a date ever. Oh, Paris, we got to get you a date, girl. The market's kind of rough out there, but we got to get you a date. I wonder how we can do this. And thank you as well, Sloopy. Next month, I'm having some issues right now with my banking stuff. Let me take this down so I could explain it. it's kind of annoying, but when I created YouTube, I was living in Canada, but now that I live in France, I have to transfer everything here, but I don't have a French bank. I have a German bank. So it's been causing me problems. So I have to wait at least a month or something like that to get all that regulated. I'm not even making AdSense money for now. So I'm like, oh, but it's fine. So long as we're having fun. And I really love our weekly kind of like get together and stuff like that. So I am enjoying this, and I love you, all of you guys' support. Thank you so much. I hope I'm able to get all of this kind of like wrapped up next month. I am opening my bank next week, so that's going to be great as well. You know, I wanted to say to this, Paris, if you guys watch Love is Blind, Cole and Colleen, so they're another example of people who are kind of like what do you call them, like airheaded people or whatever. They could have been a really good harmless couple, you know what I mean? So maybe that's what you guys are sensing when it comes to Raquel and Schwartz. You know, okay, I guess I can see it. My daughter met her now partner during the big lockdown. Congrats to her. Good for her. It seemed fake because of what we know now. And you know, I have some friends who are getting married and they met during COVID. I'm supposed to go to their wedding in September, you guys. It's going to be in Turkey, and I like Turkey. So I haven't RSVP'd yet because, again, with my visa, guys, expatriating is really difficult, I swear. But I have to wait for my visa and stuff to be approved before I can RSVP for this wedding. But I really want to go. It's going to be in Turkey in September, which is a really great time to be there and stuff. So I'm really hoping it happens. Hi, I'm a fan of Raquel and Tom, even though Sandoval would not be my cup of tea. Wait, which Tom then, Susan? So you're a fan of Raquel and Schwartz, right? Which I can see. I can totally see. They both have, yeah, that's the thing, childlike qualities. And speaking of that, Sheena, she told a story on her podcast about how Raquel had been staying in one of her apartments, and the girl, she didn't even like go buy laundry soap and stuff like that to do her laundry. She would leave like no toilet paper rolls. She left the Brita in the fridge to rot and stuff. Like, she doesn't know how to like take care of herself as an adult. And that kind of was concerning to me because I'm like, girl, you were pushing 30. How did, like, was James taking care of everything? I know he was paying for everything in their relationship, but like actually taking care of everything, I don't know. Like, that was really odd to me. Schwartz is a manipulator. Yes, master manipulator. I will never get over him. So Katie goes up to him. She's crying because these girls are taunting her with the idea of making out with this man. She's crying to her still husband. They're not even divorced yet. And you know what he does in public? Like she's going to beat him. Oh my God, absolutely disgusting behavior. And a good indicator of his manipulation kind of, you know, vibes. Katie allowed herself to be manipulated. I think a lot had to do with insecurity, and it's sad. And she did talk about it on Watch What Happens Live. She has low self-esteem, and that's why she put up with a Tom. And it's very unfortunate, but I am happy that it's something that she's trying to work on these days. Yeah, you don't have to tell me that twice, Loopy. Absolute nightmare. And it's so hard to get an account. In Canada, you just go with your driver's license or whatever, they'll open you a bank account. Here, they want like every document you've ever touched in your freaking life, and it's a nightmare. That's why I opened a digital German one. The kiss was not a good kiss. Yeah, it didn't look good or real. Let me pull up the photo again. This was not a genuine kiss. This was a all right, let's do it sort of a deal. The lengths you will go to play a con, Tom, Schwartz, and Raquel. I thought Katie would see the kiss, and that's the thing. They were all cheering, so I thought as well that Katie would see it. But at that point, the camera flashes to her and the rest of her Mean Girl crew walking away without having seen it. So I guess in next week's episode, we're going to see someone tell her about it. Like it's going to be a game of telephone that this happened. And let's just say I'm kind of nervous to see Katie's reaction. Did anyone see a preview for next week's episode, by the way? I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to see a preview of her reaction to it. Honestly, I'd be devastated, and I know that she will too, but like when Katie's devastated, she will lash out, and that's going to be wild to see, especially if there's tequila there. And listen, they're in Mexico. Tequila Katie's going to come out. Who else I heard say, my man, my man, my man? You know what it was, Paris? Nene. This comes from Nene Leakes when she was making fun of Candy and how Candy was writing for Todd, and how she wanted to beat up Cynthia Bailey's sister. And so Nene's like, oh my God, there was Candy. Oh, my man, my man, my man. That's where it's from. So you guys, that's the episode. That is it. Yeah, Sheena, she really, honestly, I'm surprised she didn't say that there were like used tampons all over the floor, because it seemed like that level of like filthy to me. Anyway, you guys, thank you all so much for another awesome recap. Mr. Rogers is here. Where have you been? It seems fake now. I'm trying to catch. See, and that's the hard part, you guys, is do we think it's fake because of what we know now, or was it always fake? I think it was always fake, right? Because when were they filming this? Over the summer, which means the affair was going on, and Tom was already aware of the one night stand at the very least. Mr. Rogers is here, you guys. I understand how Schwartz can justify dogging Katie because she's wrong, but it's been proven he wingman for Sandy during his affair, no problem. Katie runs from this man, he's psycho. Absolutely. And the worst of all is he was doing double dates with these people. Ariana, you guys, was one of Tom's best men at his wedding. Not a groomsman, a best man. So that means that Ariana is supposed to be one of his best friends as well. And that is another example. I'm sorry, Sloopy, you must be so frustrated because I keep talking crap about Schwartz, but it's true. Like, he's so spineless. This to me was more proof that Tom Schwartz only put Ariana in his wedding to spite Katie and not because she's a real friend of his. Because why would he do this to her if she was really a best friend of his, best man material? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely not. At that time, when they were getting married, Katie hated Ariana, absolutely detested her. But Tom chose Ariana over his own bride. Honestly, the stuff that Katie put up with is insane to me. Absolutely insane to me. God, please promise me, you guys, that you don't accept this type of stuff in relationships. Please, because honestly, it's astounding. Sometimes I tell stories about some of the stuff I see around me. And I know that this happens in real life, but please don't do it. It gets worse and worse with time. And then the pain, like, it gets more and more difficult to leave. The pain is more like, don't do it. As soon as someone starts doing this stuff, rule number 1, if a guy dumps beer on your head, leave, please. Like, oh my God, I see differently. Having watched the hot flirting between them, I thought the kiss was hot. Hoo, caliente, Susan. Let me put up a picture for you again. Steamy. I don't know. You know what I felt? I felt like neither of them looked like they were good kissers. That's what it felt like to me. I want to kiss this guy. Oh, and I feel traumatized, re-traumatized even telling you guys about this, but worst kiss of my life. So wet. He had, I won't even go into it with you guys. He was a nice looking guy, but he could not kiss to save his life. He will leave you covered in his spit. And that's not even a make out, but a kiss, you guys. What? Absolutely not. And that's the vibe I got with these two. It just did not look like a good kissing sort of situation, but I digress. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for another recap. This has been absolutely awesome. Please make sure to like this stream if you did enjoy it. And I will catch you again next week, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern every Thursday to recap Vanderpump Rules. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.